Okay, now that you've received your proposal from Jeff, I'd like to go over a few things to save you some time. First thing I'd like to point out is that there are three different components. You have the narrative part of your proposal. Here you have the sketch, and over here you have the estimate, which is the pricing. So the first thing I'd like for you to look at is the narrative part of the proposal. This is a brief description of what we plan to do. For example, right here it says put in foundation bolts. So we want to put some bolts in your house. Right here, if you open up this link, it'll take you to a page that gives you the science, an in-depth description of the bolts, why we plan to put them this way, which ones are tested, pretty much anything you can imagine that you need to know. Some people are very scientifically minded and they really want to know the details. Some people just say, okay, we're going to get some bolts, and they have a cursory description and that's all they need. Now, you'll see a description of bolts. Now, if you go over here, you'll also see bolts in the sketch, and it'll also show you the locations of the bolts. So for example, here we have a pink dot here and a pink dot here and a pink dot here. You come over here and that shows you where the bolt is. We have a green line coming all the way down here. You come over here and that shows you that the green line is a piece of plywood. Same thing up here. You have this big red line, and that's a foundation anchor. So everything that you'll see in the narrative proposal, you will also see in the drawing. Conversely, if you see it in the drawing, you should see it here. So the narrative proposal will have a section on plywood. It'll have a section on bolts. It'll have a section on foundation anchors. So these work together. These will be links to these different items so you can get a good understanding, and also brief descriptions. Now, it also, along with that, it goes that the estimate itself is linked to everything here. So here we have location and the number of bolts, and what we want to do is we go over to the estimate and we look at bolts, and it tells us that we're going to put in 22 bolts, and then it'll give us a price over here. And finally, I'd like to go over our professional highlights, and those are the achievements we've made in the field of seismic retrofitting. For example, we've been on national TV, we've been on KQED Channel 9, we've been on KGO TV, we've been on the News Hour with Jim Lehrer, and we've taught classes for, say, the Association of Bay Area Governments. And rather than just tell you these things, we actually give you some sort of proof. For example, if you were to find out, did Howard actually teach a class for the Association of Bay Area Governments, we give you a link to their website and you can see a course that we taught for them. So we've achieved a lot and we're very proud of that, and we want you to know about it so that you feel like you're in good hands. And finally, we have our references here. We try to provide you with references that are professional references. If you want to find out if we were pleasant to work with and we showed up on time and we cleaned up, etc., you can go to our Yelp reviews for that. But if you want to know from people whether we know what we're doing or not, we like for you to talk to our professional references. I hope this video helped you understand your proposal. If you have any questions, please contact Jeff at bayarearetrofit.com.